So here's what I propose that we do. I'm partnered with a company out of Atlanta, Georgia called Hcortez. It's a personal financial success company, and it teaches working class people how to build wealth from scratch. One of the strategies is cash flow management, right? Yes, please tag your pastors. If you know people who have nonprofit organizations, please tag them. So one of the strategies that we teach is cash flow management, right? See, we don't have a problem getting money. We have a problem because we don't understand what to do with it once we get it. And because we don't learn financial principles on our own, we follow the financial principles taught by the world, and the world teaches you to consume with every dollar that you get. So in cash flow management, we teach our associates how to understand three main things. Tax minimization, debt elimination, and then expense minimization. Now, do you agree that if we could teach working people how to minimize their taxes, how to eliminate their debt, and how to minimize their expenses, do you think the body of Christ would be in a better situation financially? Do you think if churches were teaching this that they could help their congregation not be of the world, right? But we do have to live in this world, and living in this world requires money on some capacity. Do you think we should be teaching how to properly deal with money on a fundamental level? I think so. Now, one of the main things that we teach is the first strategy, tax minimization, is we found out through the searching the IRS that 8 out of 10 people are overpaying their taxes because when they got their job, they filled out a form called the W-4, which is a tax withholding certificate. The IRS says 8 out of 10 people are filling this form out incorrectly. Because they're filling it out incorrectly, they're overpaying taxes anywhere from $200 to $800 every single month is evaporating out of their paycheck, and they're not getting it. As a result of them not getting that money, then they're struggling all year long. Now, some of them will get a nice tax refund because of this mistake, but who wants to struggle all year long, and then when they do get a tax refund, what are most people doing? They're doing two things. They're either catching up on all of their bills, or they're splurging because they've been struggling for so long that they finally get their hands on a little bit of money, then they kind of don't know how to act with it, right? So this is what I want to propose to churches. We can set up what's called a financial success university in your church through a partnership with this company called Hcortez. Hcortez will provide the tools, the strategies, and the know-how for you to teach your congregation money management skills. If we taught them just this strategy alone and they increase their take-home pay on their job, say $400 a month, then they take that extra $400 a month and they use it to knock out their debt. I don't care who you are, what kind of car you drive. If you pay the extra $400 per month to the principal of that car note, you're going to make that car note disappear in 8 months, 12 months, 14 months, 16 months. It's not going to take you a full 60 months to pay for that car. See, these are practical wealth building strategies that we have to start incorporating. Why do I want to bring this into the church? One, we are the king's kids, and I believe that we should live like king's kids, right? I just believe in the promises of the Bible that I'm the head and not the tail, right? And I can live like that. Now, I believe that God gave me the ability to gain wealth, Deuteronomy 8:18, right? But one of the reasons that we're struggling so much is because of debt. We've exhausted our income to the point that we're living check to check, so there's no extra money to do nothing but pay bills. Therefore, the bills that we're paying, they're not really disappearing. So we're only managing our debt. We're not getting rid of it. So this system allows you to fix your W-4, take the extra money, pay off your debt. While you're doing that, you might as well look at your expenses and see where your money is getting away from you. If you got money getting away from you, then minimize your expenses. Maybe it's a cable bill. Maybe it's a Netflix account. Maybe you smoke 3 packs of cigarettes and you can cut down to 2. Whatever you can do to increase your cash flow by minimizing expenses, that gives you more money for debt elimination, guys. Debt elimination is the key. Debt elimination is the key. If we had no debt right now, then we'd have a lower stress level. We'd have less heart attacks and strokes in our community, because a lot of that stuff comes from financial instability, which causes stress, which causes illness and sickness in the body. Right? So we want to help churches understand that there's a practical solution to help your congregation become better stewards of your money. If you own a nonprofit organization, you don't have to beg for money. You can put in a revenue model like this into your nonprofit organization, and you start raising and building your own money and killing 2 birds with 1 stone. A, you're filling a void of financial education that's needed in our community. B, you're raising money and revenue by doing that. Right? So the first thing that we want to teach a church how to do, or a nonprofit organization how to do, is partner with a company called MyEcon. All right, what does it cost to join MyEcon? It's $35 per month. $35 to start, $35 per month. But you're going to get this financial education system and platform that you can use to teach your congregation about building wealth. And you don't have to become the expert. You plug them into the system, and the system does a lot of the heavy lifting. You just make the system available. So what it will look like is you would bring somebody like me in. I would do a presentation, explain to the congregation how this whole thing works with MyEcon, the benefits and the strategies, and then we will let the congregation decide if this is something that they want to take part in. The church itself will endorse the program because you see this as a revenue model to introduce people to financial literacy in your congregation. So how does the revenue model work for the church or the nonprofit organization? If you're a nonprofit, see, I'm part of Young Biz Kids, which is a nonprofit organization that teaches entrepreneurship to children. But guess what? We teach the parents this. We teach the kids how to start and run businesses of their own, but we teach the parents this. So the kids get the nonprofit, the parents get the for-profit, and then any money that the Young Biz Kids make because of this program, we just donate it to the nonprofit organization. Oh, y'all ain't heard that? I probably shouldn't have said that one out loud. A nonprofit organization can own a for-profit business. Happens all the time. We're just slow to the game, y'all. A nonprofit organization can own a for-profit business. The for-profit business can then take all of its profits after its expenses are paid and donate all of that money to the nonprofit organization. So a church can set up a partnership with MyEcon. Right? In fact, I might even offer a special discount for the first 5 churches that really want to get this going. Instead of $35 to start, it'll be $10 to pilot this with your church. Is that cool? Is that cool? So, $35, and here's how the revenue model works. This is the church. Right? The church pays $10 if they want to take this special pilot, right? Or they can also, or they might just go ahead and pay their own $35. If you're after the first 5 churches, then you'll pay your own $35. First 5 churches serious about doing this, we'll make this happen for $10, right? This is the church. The church brings on one of its members, and the church is going to earn $10, and that member is going to get plugged into our system, and we're going to teach them everything they need to know about building wealth, how to minimize their taxes, how to get out of debt, how to fix their own credit, and how investments work. We all understand that everybody, whether you're in the body of Christ or not, needs to know that about money, how to minimize their taxes, how to eliminate their debt, how to fix their own credit, and how investments work. That's what our system teaches. So the first member that the church introduces is going to earn a $10 commission. The church is going to earn a $10 commission. Church brings on another one of its members. That church is going to earn another $10 commission, right? But what is the benefit of the church teaching real financial principles to the congregation? You think the amount of giving is going to go up in the church when people really know how to deal with money? When they use biblical principles to dealing with their money, you think they're going to give a little bit more now that they have a little bit more freed up? Absolutely. Church is going to then become what's called executive vice president. And all that simply means is the church is starting to grow as a business. The third person the church brings on board, the church is now going to earn a $35 commission for that third person, fourth person, fifth person. 35. Oh, why did I write 30? 35. And then on and on and on. Every member the church brings on, the church is going to earn a $35 commission like that. Right? So all 100 members of the church, all 200 members that's interested in this, all 400 members that's interested in this, then the church earns a $35 fee or commission. Right? So the church just raised a boatload of revenue by introducing a financial university to its congregation members. And basically what that means is I would come in and I would teach those who want to head up this project for the church. I would teach them these principles forwards, backwards, sideways, inside and out. So they can then teach the congregation. You can have weekly workshops where those who are part of this program can come in and learn. Right? Now, here's why I say this is the perfect revenue model. Because just like the church referred a couple people to this membership and got them going, and the church earned some commission, well, this member right here can do the same thing. And they say, you know what? My brother, who's not a member of our church, wants this financial education system. So they can refer the person. They're going to earn $10. And the church is going to earn a $25 override. You get how that works? This person then is going to say, but my sister in California also wants this system, so I'm going to refer my sister in California to this membership. This member is going to earn $10. Just everybody earns $10 off their first two. She's going to earn $10. The church is going to earn another, I wrote that backwards, another $25 override. And this goes on forever. If this person introduces two people to the same system, don't have to go to the church or whatever, then the church is going to earn, they're going to earn $10. The church is going to earn another $25 override. Same thing here. This person earns the 10. The church earns the 25. Now, here's why this is powerful. And I want you guys to get this. We need financial education in the body of Christ. So we can stop running around talking about, I got a loan for this car and God blessed me with this. If God says debt is a curse, then why would he bless you with a curse? Wait a minute, I didn't mean to say that out loud. Scratch that from the record. Scratch that from the record. So what happens then if this person's sister came on board and then she said, you know what? I'm going to introduce this to my church. So now there's another church under this church. And guess what? The first two members of the church put on, they're going to get the sister is going to get $10 and $10, going to get a $25 override. But then when the church puts all the rest of its members on, this church is going to get a small override on all of these people. How do you overcome the objection concerning pyramid scheme? Well, if you're asking, is this network marketing? The answer is yes, and you don't overcome it. It is what it is. You get to make leveraged income because there is for your efforts. Now, if you're asking, is this illegal? Then the answer is no, because when we get to the end, what makes a pyramid scheme a real pyramid scheme, or what makes it illegal, if there is no products and services that go along with it, and the only money that comes into the system comes based on people recruiting, right? I'm going to show you all of the products and services that come with the membership. So it's not a pyramid scheme because we have actual products and services that you're getting for your $35 per month. But is it network marketing and direct sales? Absolutely. Right? How else can you start a business for $35 per month and maintain it for $35 per month unless there's some sort of system that you can benefit from and buy into without having to spend $3,000 or $4,000, $10,000, $12,000, $300,000 or $400,000. So this model works because it's a low cost to start, low cost to maintain, and there's products and services that you're going to absolutely need to build wealth. And I'm going to talk about those in a second. So I appreciate that. That was a good question, Aaron Bishop. Good question. So now the church can continue to introduce this to its congregation. The congregation who sees an opportunity for themselves can partner and they can grow. They can grow their finances and they can build a business and grow some extra cash. And then we'll teach them what to do with that cash in terms of investing and create generational wealth and break generational curses by default. By default. And here's what's cool. What if the church went out and introduced this? The pastor went out and introduced this to 3 or 4 of their other churches. Now, I get it. Just like Bishop said, there's some people just going to be super, super skeptical. Hey, I don't want to introduce a pyramid scheme or a network marketing thing in my church. I get it. Everybody's got their feelings about network marketing. But let me say this about network marketing. Network marketing is recognized by the IRS as a legitimate business entity. And what that means is, since it's a legitimate business entity that I can run from my home, then I can write off a portion of my utilities in my house. I can write off a portion of my lifestyle because of this business enterprise. Right? And if we understand that working class people, their number one expense is taxes, everybody should have a business. Every working class person on this planet should have a business so they can lower the amount of taxes that they pay. If you save money in taxes, you can then use that tax savings to pay off debt. Get yourself out of debt, build an emergency fund. Now you got the money you need to start investing and putting something away for your kids' kids. Right? Since I've been saying this, I don't know why pastors aren't teaching this anyway. I don't either. Maybe they need somebody like me to come in and show them the simplicity in building wealth. Right? Very simple stuff that what we do. So you can do this, and really the church can, if a small size church, say a church is maybe got 200 or 300 regular members, right? If they just introduced this to 50 of those regular members and they all got excited about this and said, you know what, I'm going to get in this program. I'm going to come to the Financial Success University at the church once a week and learn these principles so I can apply them in my life. With just 50 members, I don't have my calculator out with me right now, but let's just say 35 times 50, 5 times 0 is 0, that's 25. 3 times 0 is 0, that's 15. So that's 0, that's 5, that's 7, that's 1. So if a church has a couple hundred members and just 50 of its members wanted to give this a shot, the church will earn $1,750 the first week. If the church has a church of any size and they brought someone like me in to do a presentation, or we plugged into a webinar, if they're not local to me or within driving distance to me, or they don't want to fly me in, we plug up a webinar system where they can display it on the big screen at the church, and 50 of its members want to join right away. The church would make $1,750 the first week. Right? Now, what if 25 of those 50 went out and introduced it to one of their family members? So what that would be is 25, because the church would get a $25 override, 25 times 25. 25 times 5 is 25. Carry the 2, that's 10, that's 12. 10, carry the 1, 4, 5. 5, 2, no comma there. If they did that in the very next week, the church would earn another $625. And say the following week, the second 25 who didn't introduce it to anybody, say they introduced it to somebody, at least one person, now the church would earn another $625 the next week. And this is just working with the members of the church. It gets crazy if the church is part of a larger network of churches, and they all introduce this to other churches, and they start stacking churches in here under this church. Every church will generate some revenue for itself, but then all of the other overrides would flow up through the initial church. And guess what? If this is you're the person that got this church started, then some of that revenue flows up through to you as well. See, we have strategies, we have solutions. There are things out here that will work for our people, but we have to be open-minded enough to do our research, fully investigate them, and see if this is a worthy endeavor. Right? Now let's talk about some of the products. You guys get a screenshot of this? I mean, you don't have to. You can actually go back and watch the replay. Tag your pastors. Do me a favor, guys. If you're checking this out right now, go ahead and share this on your timelines. Share this for me, because I want people to be able to come back to it and see it later so they can digest it a little bit. And let's see if we can get this moving in our community. You know why church is for me? And you know why I want to introduce this to churches? Because of the amount of influence that church pastors have. See, if the church pastor can see this, then the influence that they have is to say, hey, I set the church up with this program. I'm the first member of the churches that I'm going to sign up with the church myself. Me and my family are going to do this. Then they're going to influence their top 15, 20, 25 people, and they're going to do it. They're going to get some results within the first 7 to 10 days. Because if you're working a job, you're going to be able to adjust that W-4 form increase your take-home pay anywhere from $200 to $800 per month. So you're paying $35 to get a $200 to $800 increase in take-home pay on your job. Do you see why this makes sense for a pastor to introduce something like this to their congregation? The congregation is struggling to give offering, to give tithes. Why? Because Uncle Sam is taking a third. Now, we know that you should have faith and give God his 10% before Uncle Sam gets his third. But a lot of people, when they get that, when they get that check and a third is gone and they start paying bills, there's nothing left to give. But when you can teach people sound financial principles and let them know that, hey, here's an issue that you have with your money. You're overpaying taxes because you filled out your W-4 form wrong. Then if you join this program that's sponsored by the church and you have a home-based business, you can adjust your W-4 form to reflect on page 2, to reflect that you have a home-based business and you pay even less taxes out of your check. And now that frees up more money for you to get rid of debt. And once you're out of debt, then you can help the church financially in a lot more ways. Pay that car note off early. Pay that mortgage off early. Pay them furniture bills off early. Pay them credit cards off, just period. Right? Most people can't do that because they don't have a catalyst of cash that they can use. So, when you join this program, here's why this is not a pyramid. Again, the definition of a pyramid or a Ponzi scheme is a cash business where money is changing hands and there's no products. The definition of a Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme is when money is changing hands and there are no products. Right? We've heard of gifting programs and things of that nature. There's no product. Right? There's just money changing hands. You recruit this person and you get, you're going to get $700 and we're going to take the $700 that you put in and we're going to give that to the next person. There's no products. This ain't that. This is direct sales, multi-level marketing, or network marketing. There are real products. Because we teach tax minimization, and we teach home-based business owners how to write off their lifestyle, you're going to get Cash Flow MGR. That's a software for your laptop and your cell phone that allows you to keep records on the fly. Everywhere I'm going, if I'm going somewhere for business, I put in my mileage in my Cash Flow Manager app on my phone. I get to where I'm going. If I have to spend some money, I buy some products, some office supplies. I have a meal and discuss business with somebody over a meal. Take a picture of that receipt. I'm writing off my lifestyle. So we give you the Cash Flow Manager app to help you keep good records. Because in a home-based business, in order for you to qualify for the write-offs, you need 3 things. You need to work your business regularly, you need to be attempting to make a profit, and you need good record keeping. So we give you record keeping software to do that. Then you get the Cash Flow Strategist. The Cash Flow Strategist is going to help you with your tax, tax. It's going to help you with your debt elimination. The Cash Flow Strategist will allow you to put in all of your numbers, put in your goals, what you want to be like when you retire. You want $10,000 a month to come from your retirement accounts. It's going to tell you, here's how you focus on getting rid of your debt. Then you take that money and you invest at a certain rate of return, and that's going to give you X amount of dollars. Is going to kick you out a monthly income, right? I want $10,000 a month from my portfolio. It's going to take me $1.3 million to do it. The Cash Flow Strategist says, here's your plan of attack. Then you're going to get Identity Theft Protection. Comes with your $34.95. I used to not care about identity theft. I know it's the #1 crime in the world, but shoot, you stole my identity, you going to jail. and not for stealing my identity. You going to jail for trying to use my identity. That's how bad shape I was credit-wise, so I wasn't caring. But now that my net worth is increasing every month, I'm more protective of my identity. So we get a program similar to LifeLock that's going to ensure up to $1 million if somebody steals my identity and I have to go through a bunch of hoops to get it restored. This program is going to protect me for that. Keylogging. This is a software that protects me on the front end. My computer, my tablet, my laptop, my cell phone. I do a lot of business on my devices. So this thing encrypts my keystrokes on my devices so you can't get my information even from my cell phone, even though I'm using it over the airwaves. Right? Smart money kit. This is a do-it-yourself credit education program. Fix your own credit when you get properly educated on how to do it. I talked to a young lady today. She said, hey, I saw your webinar on how to fix my own credit, but it looks like I was hoping that you would send me some stuff. And she said, no. I said, no, I can't send you anything. We have everything on modules so you can watch videos, you can download what you need, the forms and all that stuff. She said she wasn't that computer savvy, so she would rather just go ahead and pay Lexington Law Firm or whoever they are or somebody, and she's going to pay them whatever it costs them to get started in $100 a month, and they're going to do it for her. Here's my problem with that. If it gets all fixed, and maybe it takes them 6 months, and that's $600 you're out of. Cool. Lose a job, get hurt, can't work, credit dips back down. You gonna pay them another $600 to fix it again? Or you get a system like this where you learn how to fix it yourself, and the minute you see it dipping, you know what to do to get it back up. Right? Or you go through a rough patch, you know who to call and what to say, and how to put some freezes on some things, and how to work with your creditors to keep it up, to keep it from dipping while you're going through a rough patch. Smart money system. Right? Tax advice and tax prep. How would you like to be able to call somebody to ask them if you're taking this deduction the right way? Call somebody and let them know that, hey, I'm about to file my taxes. I've never done it myself with the Schedule C. Can you help me? Right? Tax strategies. That's what that's for. That's included in your membership. Right? How about legal? We got free and discounted legal services. I'm starting to look into trust funds and that kind of stuff. As my network is starting to grow, I want to learn how to protect my wealth. I need an attorney for that. I need several attorneys. I'm building my brand, so now I need trademark attorneys and copyright attorneys because I'm writing books and all this kind of stuff. So I need some good legal services. Free and discounted legals, right? Also, there's discount. You got SC Travel. We got a deal through Priceline that you can get discounts on travel. And then we have our own cashback mall where you can do a lot of the same shopping that you're doing anywhere else. You can do it on from the cashback mall, and you earn cash back for every purchase, right? See, I like the idea of affiliate programs like that so that every time I send $1 out, I got a boomerang on 10 or 12 cents that come right back to me. See, we teach you how to build real wealth. So a church can get this program implemented for the church. So the church is great, bringing in revenue, but also for the members in the congregation to understand financial principles and how to build legacies for the church. Right? Christ died for our sins, but he also died for us to not be slaves to debt. Not to be slaves for anything else, right? So that we can have peace in our life. So we can have that when we understand financial principles and strategies. Any questions? This works well for a church. This works well for a nonprofit organization. This works well for individuals who just are go-getters. And maybe you have connections with pastors and with nonprofit organizers Well, you can get signed up and you can introduce them to the program. $35 to start, $35 per month. You get a coach like me that will help you walk through this thing. And what I'm doing at the church here in St. Louis that I'm partnered with is we got the church set up and we're going to introduce this to the congregation. And when the congregation wants to get going, anybody who wants to get going, we set up the Financial Success University. So then once per week for the first 6 weeks after they signed up, we hit one of these principles really hard. Entrepreneurship. You're all business owners. What does that mean for you? What can you do? What can you not do? How do you market? How do you brand? How do you talk to people about this thing? How do you write off your taxes? What's available to you? How do you set your home up for a home-based business? We go through all of that in week 1. And week 2, tax minimization. We bring an expert in to talk about how to properly write everything off, how to record your receipts, and how to keep track of everything, how to set it up to pay your children so that you can use that as a tax deduction. Stop giving them allowances. You're going to take vacations for the holidays. You're going, for me, down south for Thanksgiving. Well, how do you set that up so you can write that whole trip off? That's week 2, tax minimization. Week 3, debt elimination. How do you use a cash flow strategist to really set up your debt elimination program? How do you line up all your debts and start knocking them things down one at a time, using the extra cash flow that you got? Debt elimination, the importance of it, how to work with your debtors and your creditors and things of that nature, get your debt down. Number 4, credit education. We go through the Smart Money Kit, the whole module. How do you get your credit score right? How do you send the letter certified? What letters do you send? At which point? How do you use credit monitoring to make sure that you're checking up on your disputes and make sure those things are happening for you? How do you get new credit? How do you get credit age, credit mix? How can I take my already good credit score and then transfer that to my children through making them authorized users? See, this for us is not a game. We're just trying to figure out the best ways to get it out to the masses of the people. And the churches are one way that got a lot of influence that we can plug a church into this system. They can plug their congregation into this system. And this financial literacy, this financial education can spread like wildfire. And when you get enough people financially sound in your congregation, now they have more money to give. They have more, they're less stressed out about certain things. Then they got investments growing that can transform their family for generations to come. This is what this thing is all about. And then week 5, we talk about getting investments going, how to understand investments, what are investment bankers, what is the difference between an investment bank and a retail bank? What's the difference between cash equivalents and stocks and bonds? Real estate, real assets. Start talking to them about that, because now that their debt is gone, now they got extra money. They're going to be asking, what can we do with this money? Because we just got out of the habit of just being consumers. Now we need to know what to do with this money so we can grow it, so I have something to pass down for my children. How do I set up the 529 account so my kids' college is paid for, so they don't have to get into debt just to go to school? And then the 6th week, we talk about asset protection. Do you have proper life insurance? Do you have disability insurance? Do you have the proper medical insurance that's going to take care of you if you end up in hospice care or you end up in long-term care? How do you protect your assets? See, a lot of people don't get wealthy people have more money than they can count and still qualify for Social Security benefits. How? What? How? They got more money than I can count, but how do they still qualify for? Because they know some strategies that you don't know. They know how to protect their money. They know how to hide their money. So they still get the benefits that they work for, which they deserve them. And then they go get their medical care on the state, on the government. And then when they want some special care, they got the money to pay for that too. We need this information. And we need to get it to the masses. And I think the church is the appropriate platform to do that for those pastors who understand it. So if you're a pastor out there and you're wondering if this thing is real, let's have a real conversation. Give me a call, 314-874-6887. Let's sit down. Let me show you the system. Let me show you everything and how it works. Don't judge it before we have a conversation. Don't judge it before we can have a conversation. Again, give me a call, 314-874-6887. Especially if you're in the St. Louis area, we can have a face-to-face meeting. If you're out of the St. Louis area, we'll do a live video conference. 314-874-6887. I believe this is a solution for our people. I really believe. Number 314-874-6887. So if you're a person, you're an individual, and you're tight with a pastor, then you get signed up. We'll show you how to set it up so then you can get your pastor signed up. Get your church going, and then get your fellow congregants going on wealth building principles and strategies. Is everybody going to sign up with the program? If everybody going to rock with the program? Probably not. But that's okay. I can only help people who are willing to participate in their own rescue. The goal for me is to get 1,000 independently wealthy families in the St. Louis metropolitan area so that we can all start coming together and chipping in and practicing real group economics. Now that's 1,000 individual families. What if we got 1,000 churches? Right? When you talk about an investment for a church, let me put these numbers up here real quick. An investment for a church. So say that a church is collecting $1,500 beyond what they need for to run their church every month. $1,500 invested at a 14% rate of return for 7 years will turn into $212,000. See, black churches typically don't even have endowments. But one of the things we can teach our churches is take some of the extra money above the cost to operate the church and you start investing it. In 7 years, $1,500 a month turns to $212,000. If they didn't put another dime into that endowment and let that $212,000 grow for another 20 years, it will grow into $3,400,000. See, nobody's teaching our churches this. A lot of our churches are struggling because they really don't understand money management themselves. So this is good for the church to understand, but also good to help the parishioners or the congregation understand as well. So in 27 years, your church could be worth $3.4 million if you understood some financial principles. This is what we're trying to get our churches to do. $3.4 million endowment just growing. The interest on that will probably kick back somewhere between $250,000 and $300,000 per year. Can you send a few kids to college if your endowment was kicking out $300,000 a year? Can you help a few of the congregation with down payments on homes if your endowment alone was kicking out $250,000, $300,000 per year? But nobody's teaching our churches this. I'm just saying, we've got to start thinking beyond what we think is possible and start really believing and trusting that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. I'm H Cortez, financial health mentor to the black community, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. Peace out, y'all.